Wow. Thanks so much to Jeff English and the Unity Band. Fantastic as always. Good morning. I'm Greg Denning, and I'm filling in while Reverend Sharon is on grief leave. I believe she'll be back next week. And today our guest speaker will be Mark Litt, who I'll be introducing in a little while. And just a few points to get started here. In accordance with CDC's latest guidelines, we're asking that everybody wear a mask just for the safety and comfort of everybody here. And also, if you're new to Unity, we do have connection cards available on the table, and we'd appreciate if you'd fill those in. Also, you can leave comments on those if you'd like. And I'd like to welcome our online congregation. We are live streaming from here at 2395 Washington Road, so we appreciate folks out there spending some time with us this morning. And we do have some tables that may be on camera and others that aren't, so they're marked as being on camera or not, just for your comfort. And we will have some fellowship time following the service with coffee and some snacks. So we welcome you to stay for that. And while you're enjoying a snack, you're welcome to remove your mask at your table. So that's fine. And I'd like to begin this morning in accordance with Unity's principles of affirmative prayer. Let's say a prayer for our health and wholeness. In this moment, we bless the miraculous workings of our bodies, conceived in divine mind. Our bodies sparkle with health and vitality. We lay claim to our physical strength and resilience as we adopt practices to maintain and grow our health. Every day, we are guided to make choices and take actions that support the natural wholeness of our physical being. And so it is. Amen. And our mission statement here at Unity is to spiritually awaken to our oneness with God, with each other, and with all creation. And that comes from the vision, as a member of Unity churches worldwide, of a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of a shared spiritual awakening. And because we honor all paths, let's join together in an ecumenical prayer. The enlightenment of the Buddha shines within us. The compassion of the Christ moves through us. The power of Jehovah strengthens and guards us. The presence of Allah surrounds and guides us. Wherever we are, the Tao is, and all is God. And our neighbors across the world and here at home are going through a lot of things. Some bring joy, some bring grief. So let's join together in a prayer for our neighbors. We pray with understanding and compassion in our hearts, knowing divine light shines even in the darkest moments. We bless the continued work of the world's essential workers and all those devoted to serving others in times of need. We bless those in grief, whatever their loss, knowing God is their strength. We lift our gaze to remember our shared humanity, our unity. Centered in God's divine presence within, we know the truth for each person in our world neighborhood. We are guided by wisdom arising in love as we act in ways that foster peace and wholeness for all. And so it is. Amen. And we'll continue with our prayer work with a blessing for this ministry. Unity Spiritual Center of Lansing embraces its journey of spiritual growth as we walk this new path of bountiful blessings. We are emerging as a greater expression of love, a force for good in our neighborhood. Receptive to the handprint of God, we are guided to fields of unlimited possibilities to be a meaningful light shining in our world. And so it is. Allah, Shalom, Amen, Namaste. And we're going to have a moment of discussion, get to know folks at your table a little bit better. So Sharon suggested that we discuss what is your next step in life, in your life, whether it be an immediate step like getting coffee after the service or something a little more long-term like learning a new language or taking a Zumba class. So when you hear the music start up, we'll stand and join together in our opening song. Let's stand up. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more forward, no more backward, no more spinning around and around. My life is moving ever upward. My feet are leaving the ground. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more downward, no more darkness, no more wondering the point of it all. My life is destined, oh, for greatness. My soul has answered the call. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Awesome. Please be seated.
I will be now. I'm Kathy Asif, and I'm your platform assistant for today. Today's daily word is joy. Inspired by Paul's letter to the Thessalonians, he wrote, "Rejoice always." Joy is the call of our hearts. Whether we are at work or at play, we bring a spirit of joyfulness to everything that we do. More than a mood or an attitude, joy is part of us and ours to live and to share. Like all aspects of our divine identity, joy flowers in our consciousness when we hold joyful thoughts and feelings. We express our joy as the excitement of anticipation, fascination at our new discoveries, deep satisfaction in relationship, and the tranquil glow from communing with God in prayer. Our joy is contagious, and we love to share in it. We have feelings of joy when we take part in a friends or family's members of joyous moments, their celebrations and accomplishments. We feel quiet joy when we offer encouragement and even when we give comfort, grateful to share the care and love of God. Let us affirm together, I say yes, joy that invites me in this moment. And today we get a double dose of joy this morning. Joy is the core value we are focusing on this month. We are creative, joy-filled spiritual beings. Joyfulness is our true nature. We can live this core value by taking time to laugh and play in childlike wonder, connect with others in fellowship, and choosing to be optimistic. We sing together, laugh together, and sometimes we even dance together. Let us affirm our core value together. With playful expression, we celebrate life, love, and abundance. Our Sunday services are hybrid experiences. This means they will be available to you both on location and online, whichever works for you. Live stream and recordings of the services are on our website, YouTube, and Facebook. Currently, we continue to offer classes and meetings online and anticipate expanding to offering hybrid experiences by the fall. Details of all of our activities can be found on our website, unitylansing.org, and in our weekly e-news. Our prayer ministry team continues to be active and available to hold you and your loved ones in prayer. Prayer requests can be placed in the prayer box in our lobby or electronically through the website or with a phone call to the church. As we settle into our new home, our ministry teams and activities are reactivating. Our fellowship team is in full swing and could use a few more team members. Kay Batterson will soon be starting a section of our outreach team to help connect us with our neighbors. Pre-pandemic, one of the most popular activities was SALT, our Sunday Adult Learning Time. Those interested in helping with SALT sessions, there is a meeting next Sunday at noon following the Sunday service. More information on all activities can be found on our website and in our weekly e-news. If you are not receiving our weekly e-news, you can sign up for it using the connection cards on the table. A new team has formed to focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion in our community. These potentially impacts everything from our PowerPoint slides to what organizations we partner with. If you are interested in being part of this information work and important work, please email Teresa Mulford at tjmulford@aol.com. They are scheduled to meet Tuesday, August 24th at 6:30 p.m. on Zoom. Recently, we received some generous book donations. Since we are unable to keep them all, they are available to anyone who would like to give them a home. This is the last Sunday that they will be available for browsing. You'll find them on the long white tables near the entrance to our sanctuary. And now, let us listen to some special music by our very own Jeff English. Yay.
Thank you. Life is a dance. The world is my partner. I choose the step, either love or fear. My dance moves the might be into the will be. My dance moves the there to the here. Though my talent is humble, and sometimes I stumble, I know I have nothing to lose. For grace is guaranteed if I let my heart lead, and love is the step that I choose to be moving me. We can be 1, 2, 3, 1. Thank you.
That was lovely, Jeff. Oh, wow, he wrote the song. And it is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for this week, Mark Litt. Got a few words here. Mark is from Unity of Livonia and a friend of Reverend Cindy Yamamoto, who most of us probably remember from she was interning under Reverend Sharon. Mark is a 24-year student of Unity with 140 SEE credits, including Eye of the Storm and Stretton Smith's 4T program. He has taught several Unity classes over the years, including Unity Basics at Unity of Farmington Hills, Keys to the Kingdom at Unity of Ann Arbor, and facilitated online discussion groups on Edwene Gaines' book, The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity. Mark is a writer and a spiritual course creator and teaches his own online class, Journey to Acceptance, multiple times per year. As a guest speaker and presenter, he has also delivered 18 Sunday talks at local Unity churches, which brings him here with us today. So please welcome Mark Litt.
Thanks. Hello, everyone. Well, hey, so I'm a writer, and I've written a talk today, and I'm so excited about presenting it to you. And what could be more beautiful than this environment than we're in right now? So I celebrate you, and I'm the backdrop of a beautiful willow tree embracing me, and birds flying across behind, laughing and celebrating life today. And so let's all celebrate with them and enjoy the talk that I have to share. Again, my name is Mark Litt, and I'm born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I've been at Unity a long time, and I want to talk to you about my notes being in the wrong order. Okay? Yes. Yes, thank you very much. I'm just going to take a minute to get this right, and then we will begin. I've got to tell you, it's so moving to have the chance to be up here, being involved in Unity for so long, and then making the transition where you get a chance to speak to a group. And, it's really fun. Everyone's so nice when you show up to be the guest speaker. And then they introduce you. And it's like, oh, my God. I've got to get up there. And, people are expecting that you have something, interesting to say. So it's all very exciting. But, I got to tell you that I'm so moved by this opportunity. And I'm just about there. Here we go, 16. Something told me to check this before I got started. Okay, and I didn't. I didn't follow my intuition. Okay, Okay, here we go. Great. So I'm a longtime Unity person and course creator for Unity churches in Metro Detroit, where I'm born and raised. And of course, the title of my message, which you've already foreshadowed, is "Take the Next Step." So it's so fun to hear you have that discussion question and talk about taking the next step. And it's not easy to do in life. Somehow in the back of my mind, I have this idea, and maybe you do too, that life is just supposed to go smoothly and keep on getting better. And we all think that's the way it should be, but by this time we all know, life's got our ups and our downs and starts and stops, and sometimes it goes painfully slow, and sometimes it goes, way too fast. And so I'm talking about take the next step, but I'm thinking about all those ups and downs as just being normal, a normal part of our whole experience. And maybe a spiritual way to look at this is that, as best we can in balancing those ups and downs, maybe that's the best that we can do. And trying not to get stuck at any one place in those ups and downs. That's our spiritual work. But today's talk is about getting started again, after we've gotten stuck or we've been someplace, too long. But I don't want you to hear that being stuck, that's not the same as stopping. Sometimes stopping is the most important and wonderful spiritual thing that we can do in our journey. Stopping is so helpful. It's helpful. It's like one of the 12 powers. I mean, for example, at the end of a big project, it's so important to stop and to celebrate all that you've done. Have you had any celebrations in this community, recently? Any big projects and accomplishments? Right, this beautiful new building. And so I happen to know that you had a grand opening celebration and you spent time connecting and thinking about your own role in that and then celebrating the people that you worked with. That was a time to stop before moving on to the next thing. And that's so important and healthy. And for example, it's also like sometimes we work too hard, right? And you burn the candle at both ends. It's so important to recognize that and take some time and stop and rest and rejuvenate before you go on. Very spiritual. And then, of course, we know our lives have seasons that they go through. And sometimes our loved ones are just in great need, and we have to stop and be there for them. And even we realize sometimes as we get older, our abilities change, or any time in life, our abilities change. It's so important at that time to stop and take stock of where we're at and get in touch with our priorities and connect with our loved ones before moving on. So stopping, super important. But this talk is really what happens when you get started again. And my message title, Take the Next Step, it implies something, doesn't it? It's like sometimes we're a little bit reluctant to take the next step and get going again. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Some of the reasons we might get stuck and stay in one place too long, or what are some of the things that we can do to get going again? So, of course, I'll talk about some great new thought and Unity tools that we have at our disposals. And so I'll start off by saying one of the reasons that we get bogged down on the role of life, and then this, you hear this a lot, is that we get comfortable where we're at, okay? And that's valid. We get comfortable where we're at. But sometimes even things that are good and comfortable, we can stay there too long. And so before we can get moving again, we have to realize that and be open to changing. The situation changing, or us realizing situations have changed, or sometimes we have to be open to us changing before we can get moving again. But more than that I want to say, a lot of times we stay in one place. I think it's not so much about where we are is perfect and great, and we just want to stay there. It's more that we just don't like to face uncertainty, do we? And if we change and start something new, we have to face some unknown thing. This reminds me of the saying the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. I mean, think about what that saying is about. And I'm wondering if a more useful saying is the devil you know feels safer than even a blessing you don't know. Wow, I mean, like, think about that. That's a little bit shocking to think about, that we're willing to put up with a lot of discomfort sometimes just because we don't want to face the uncertainty of what it's like to change and not knowing what's going to happen next. And so that's a choice. And so let's be aware of that as we're thinking about taking our next steps. And one of my favorite authors, Deepak Chopra, he encourages us to embrace uncertainty. He's got the different take on it. He's like, uncertainty, that's where you want to go, okay? And in his book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, he writes about uncertainty, and he says, uncertainty is the fertile ground of pure creativity and freedom. Uncertainty means constantly stepping into the unknown, which is the field of all possibilities, ever fresh and new. And he goes on to say, without uncertainty and the unknown, your life is just the stale repetition of worn-out memories. You become the victim of the past, and each day you're tormented by your old self, still there and left over from yesterday. Oh my God. I mean, how does that feel? Doesn't that feel like when our lives, when we're stuck and things get stale, that's how it feels. We're like, get tired of ourselves even sometime. And he's saying, embrace uncertainty, and that's what keeps it live and fresh. Okay, so I'm going to encourage you in that area. And even so, I recognize that starting again and taking a new step and changing, it's hard. And especially, it's especially hard when we're attached to things from the past, even things that were good. And the picture I have in mind of being attached to things in the past is it's from a very famous Christmas story, A Christmas Carol. Let's see if I have that picture. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Ebenezer Scrooge, right? You got any Christmas Carol fans here? And so this is the ghost of Marley, right? And he's haunting Scrooge, and he's dragging all these chains and boxes with him. And he's saying, in death, I wear the chains I forged in life. And it's a wake-up call for Scrooge, right? But I have to say that from a new thought perspective, we don't wait until we die to carry around our baggage, do we, right? We carry it around right now in life. And I have to check in with myself and be honest with myself regularly, like, what chains am I wearing? What am I dragging around with me? Is it idealized memories of like the good old days and how the good old days were so much better and today can't even, live up to them? Or is it regrets about some job I had and something I didn't say and how something didn't work out? Or, am I still holding a grudge, from high school? I have to think about that. And it seems silly, right? You laugh when I say that, but, people do that. I do that. So checking in and being aware, because any charged memory that I have that I drag with me from the past to today, it holds me back. It holds me back. And fortunately, we have unity. We have New Thought. And the good news is that New Thought gives us the keys to unlock our own chains, right? With tools like practicing the skill of acceptance. What's acceptance about? Okay? Acceptance, it allows us to loosen our hold on these past events, and release the drama around them so we're willing to let them go. Okay? And acceptance is such a powerful tool. You've heard that I teach an online class called Journey to Acceptance. And it's so important because when we learn to release the past, it reactivates the law of circulation, the giving and receiving that we talk about in our lives. And I encourage us all to embrace an attitude of acceptance, because it'll open up the flow of prosperity and creativity in our lives anew and afresh. Well, I have to say that, getting ourselves ready to take the next step and be open to change and acceptance, sometimes even if we're ready, there's still barriers, okay? Sometimes a barrier that we face is the other people around us. And other people, they can make it more scary and stressful for us to change and to take steps and do something new. Because other people, they have their own opinions and they project their fears and their baggage. But I'm here to say that let's let other people carry their own chains and not project them onto us. And that can be hard to do. It can be hard to do. So I have actually a story about that. Let's see. I'll click my clicker. And here's a picture of a tree. My wife and I, here's my wife, Kate. Kate, hello. Okay. So we're on a vacation years ago, and we were just, randomly driving through this fancy neighborhood and looking at these beautiful houses. And, oh, wouldn't it be great to live here? And then we kept seeing all these trees like this. And I thought, oh, what a shame. These trees are sick. They're dying. They're going to have to come in and cut down all these trees and start anew. And, of course, Kate's a little smarter than me sometimes. And so she Googled it, and she said, honey, it's a sycamore tree. And it turns out that this is their normal appearance. Maybe you guys know this. This is how they look when they're going through change, when they're getting ready for a new season in their lives. Their bark peels off, they change colors, and then they grow back new and fresh. And so the problem wasn't the tree, the problem was me. My perception was uninformed, and I judged these trees incorrectly based on how they looked and some old memories I have from the past. Remember, my mom worried about Dutch elm disease in our neighborhood. So that baggage, I put that onto these poor trees. And let's not allow the judgments of others, like I did, to always be a barrier to us moving forward or, doing something that's not right. These are perfectly healthy and, they're going to live and thrive. And I admit that judgments can be hard coming from the outside because sometimes the judgments come from the people that we're closest to and that we love the most. So that can be difficult. To have the strength inside to know what's right, more than what the world says. And fortunately, it's the still small voice within us. Okay, that is the truth. And it's more powerful than what others say. The one that is in me is greater than the one who is in the world. And when we can practice our principles and take that to heart, it strengthens us inside. We need to learn to trust and to claim this truth with zeal. And then again, unity helps us out because it can even turn up the volume of our own internal fortitude and strength and awareness of our dominion by doing our daily spiritual practices or committing to do them or doing them more often or doing them as part of a community. That strengthens us and allows us to more confidently navigate the pressures and the blessings of work and family and community and our social life with tact and grace when we know of the divine inside. So the rest of my message, I'm going to tell you some stories that amplify the ideas that I've just been sharing. And it turns out that preparing for this talk, it reminded me of vacation that Kate and I took years back that really had some great stories that give good examples of the principles from this talk. And, well, here's a picture of where we went. Does anyone know where we went on vacation from this picture? Right? Pasadena, the Rose Bowl parade. Oh, it was so fun to see it in person. But besides being a wonderful sunny vacation, well, here, let me tell you this story. The day Kate and I arrived in Pasadena, we got settled into actually an apartment we had borrowed from a family member. And, we had traveled across the country because, we're from Michigan and full travel day. Well, Kate was ready to have a quiet afternoon and evening and a good night's sleep. But me, I had plans. I had planned this out ahead of time. I had rented a car, and I'm like a huge NHL hockey fan. So I was in a new city. So Pasadena is near LA, and LA has the Los Angeles Kings. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to a hockey game. I've got these, kind of expensive tickets. And so I need to get from Pasadena down to the stadium. And so I had rented a car. And so Kate was settled in. I got on the phone, and I called the rental car agency so they would pick me up. Any idea what company that is, right? Okay. So the lady on the other end of the phone was very courteous, and she said, I'm sorry, sir, we don't have a car for you. And I said, well, I have a reservation. And she said, we have your reservation right here. I said, what? I was speechless. And it was like I was on an episode of Seinfeld. Anybody remember Seinfeld? Jerry's renting a car, and him and George getting all kinds of shenanigans. And I said, how can you have a reservation but no car? And, and then I went on to explain to the lady all the problems that this was going to cause to me. I've got to get downtown. And, well, let's just say she wasn't swayed by my logic. And the end of the call was, sir, I'm going to hang up now, but please call back tomorrow. Maybe you'll have better luck. Okay? So that's how it ended. And I was just, dumbfounded. So Kate's smiling. I'm just like pacing, back and forth like, oh my God, if I don't get this car, our vacation is going to be ruined. And then I'm on my computer furiously trying to rent a car from a different place. And, it's Rose Bowl. There's just no cars available. So, so then I'm thinking about, well, if I don't get this car, I'm just not going to go. Right? And then that didn't last long, because then I started thinking about how I was going to get revenge, on the rental car place. It's like, I'll teach them, I'll call the Better Business Bureau, all this stuff. I was stuck, okay? This talk is about being stuck. I was stuck, and I had no way to move forward. But then I remembered something, and I remembered a saying, all is well and everything is working out for my highest good. I think that's Louise Hay. And then I remembered thinking, somehow God is going to make this situation okay, even if I don't know how. And my energy, changed. And I realized, hey, they have mass transit in this area. Okay, this is before Uber, was a thing. I'm like, hey, they have mass transit. Wow, Michigan, Detroit, I'm not used to mass transit, So I became open to taking the mass transit downtown to the stadium for the game. And, and I went back and forth. I had, oh my God, how if I get on a bus, how am I going to find this place? I'll get lost. Wait a minute. There'll be other people there. I can ask for help, right? Then I'm thinking, oh no, tomorrow. We also had plans the next day to go to the Unity Church in Pasadena, and we needed a car for that. So I was like, oh no, what am I going to do about tomorrow? I can't leave. I've got to figure out what to do tomorrow. Well, I just suddenly thought, well, I'm going to leave tomorrow for tomorrow. And I'm going to head out today, and just, everything's going to work out. So, I packed up and put on my Tiger baseball hat, and I walked down the block because we had seen a bus stop there. And so my big plan was I was going to get on the bus and ask for help. and that's what I did. I got on the bus, and I asked the driver, I said I need to go downtown to Staples Center. And he smiled, and he said, you're from Detroit, aren't you? Because he saw the Tigers hat. And it turned out he was from Detroit. Okay? So I should have known then, right, that something neat was happening. But I was still, I was caught up in the throes of it. So he gave me a map, and, the schedule and a map, and he told me the exchange points. And, I felt good, and I sat down. So I'm sitting on the bus, and, he told me that you take the bus to the train station, you take the train into LA, and you get on a subway underground, and then it lets you off by the stadium. So I was studying my route map when all of a sudden on my phone, I get a buzz on my phone. And at the time, I was subscribed to like a daily inspirational kind of text message that comes at random times, and from a minister, Joel Osteen, who I really appreciate. But anyways, so this is what the message said. Quit trying to change things you can't change. Worry less and trust more, right? So I reacted like you. I'm like, ha ha, Joel, very funny, right? And I should have known then that something neat was happening, okay? So my next big dilemma was I was underground at the subway, and I had to figure out which subway to get on, which train on the subway. And, if you get on the wrong subway, you go miles and miles out of your way, and I was like starting to run out of time to get to the game. So I'm looking around, and it was crowded, lots of people, and then I'm like, I got to ask somebody. That's been working. Who am I going to ask? Everyone's rushing around. And lo and behold, hallelujah, I see a father and a son in hockey jerseys. And they were going towards the subway. And I ran up to them. I'm like, hi, going to the game? And they're like, yeah. And I'm from out of town. Can I follow you? I kept appropriate, distance. Can I follow you and make sure I get to the right? So they were very nice. And actually, we got on the train. And we actually spent, quite a bit of time talking. And the son was neat. He reminded me of my own godson. And the dad, told me about the subway and how to navigate, where the good food was at the stadium and all that good stuff. And that's when it hit me. I said, oh my God, I'm being guided by the Father. Oh my God, wait a minute. And I realized I had been using principle. I had decided that the rental people did not have the power to ruin my vacation by not giving me a car, right? So what's that? Hey, it's a denial, right? They teach us denials in Unity. And I had realized that, God's going to make this situation okay, even if I don't know how. Well, it's an affirmation. I used affirmations. Woo! And then I decided not to worry about how to get to church in the morning and leave tomorrow for tomorrow. Well, that's a wonderful 12-step principle, right? Take it one day at a time. And I realized I'd used principles and I was unstuck. And I was in the flow. And I had made it to the game, and I had a great time. And I got to tell you, LA Kings fans are a riot. They were very fun. And I was able to get back home to Kate and the apartment in Pasadena, later that night. And that's really what this talk is all about, using spiritual principles to keep us moving forward and taking the next step on our journey. And that's even when things don't go according to plan. And especially when the unexpected happens and setbacks occurred. You see, like it says in the book of Corinthians, God won't give us anything that we can't handle, and always provides a way through. That's the way people say it. God won't give us anything we can't handle and provides a way through any difficulty. And it also says why life works like this. It says the purpose is to make us rely not on our own power, but on God who is all power. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else will be added to you. That's the encouragement that we get, old school style. So I'll finish up by telling you the rest of the story. The next morning, the rental car still wasn't ready. And we didn't make it to church. But, after me being out at the game, I didn't get home till about 2 o'clock. And so it turned out great. Kate and I had a nice morning. I was able to sleep in, and we had a nice breakfast. And then in the afternoon, the rental car company called kind of sheepishly And we got our car. They brought it to us, and we even got a 5% discount on the rental for all the inconvenience. So that turned out well. Somehow it all worked out. But the best part, the real blessing and the biggest aha moment actually happened the night before on the way to the game when I got off of the subway. See, back on the subway, you remember the father and son I was talking to? Well, they were on a mission to get to that game. And so they were really nice, and they said goodbye to me, before the subway, let off, because their plan was like to dash ahead and beat the crowd. And that's what happened. The door opened, and they were out of there like a bolt. And it was fine, because by that time, everyone was going to the game. So I was just in a big mass of people, walking out of the subway. And I was kind of keeping my eye on them way down, ahead, because I was fond of them. I was appreciative of this chance encounter that I had with these people and that they had helped me. And they were about 2 blocks from the stadium. They were crossing a busy street with all these people. And then a white piece of paper fell out of the dad's pocket, and it laid down in the crosswalk. So I said, what's that? So I walked faster, and I scooped it up. And I went to the other side, and I looked at it. It was an envelope. And you know what was in the envelope, don't you? The envelope had their hockey tickets in it. They had dropped their hockey tickets, and now they were 2 blocks ahead. Okay? So I'm like running, scooting between people, whatever. I caught up with them. They were like next in line for the ticket taker outside the stadium. And I'm tapping the dad on the shoulder. And I'm like, and he was a little annoyed actually at first. And then I just, hey, you dropped these in the street. And we just had this moment. He was like, oh my God, thank you so much. What would we have done? Because there was no way there was no sob story that was going to get them in the stadium without those tickets. And we just had this moment, this connection. And it was such a wonderful opportunity because they wouldn't have been able to get into the game without those tickets. And I wouldn't have been there to pick up the tickets if I hadn't have changed my mind back in Pasadena. If I hadn't remembered principles and gotten unstuck, I wouldn't have been there to pick up the tickets. I would still be fussing and fuming back in Pasadena. I wouldn't have been there to help that family. And it was such a blessing. And I realized that all along the way, people were helping me. And I had a chance to help people because I was in the flow. And that's what happens when you remember principle. Why does this all happen? Well, what it said in Corinthians, the purpose is to make us rely not on our own strength, but on God who is all power, God the good, omnipotent. And that's the power that lets us take our next step. So let's celebrate that a little bit with a song, and then we'll do a meditation. The meditation will have 10 affirmations based on today's talk.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
So a journey starts with one step. And let's get started now. We've enjoyed the blessings of song. Now it's our time for meditation with 10 affirmations from today's lesson. Dear Father, Mother God, this is our special time with two and many more gathered together in your name. We pause to be still and know, to be still and listen to your quiet voice within, the truth which is stronger than all the voices around us. I now remember you are the divine spirit that is the energy of my life and creativity. Please help me to remember my oneness with you in every waking moment. Now is my time to reconnect with you. I do this today by considering affirmations from today's lesson. Let us begin. I live in faith and trust divine order. I release my past. It does not have the power to ruin my future. I am safe, even if the unexpected happens or things don't go according to my plan. I know my daily spiritual practice brings me spiritual progress. I know the truth inside me is greater than the pressures of the world. I affirm all things are working together for my highest good. I live one day at a time and listen to my divine guidance. And we are not alone. We are part of a healthy, supportive community. A community where I ask for help and I am blessed to help others. Indeed, I know I have all the strength and wisdom I need to take the next right step. Now let's enjoy a few moments of silent meditation. as we prepare to bring our attention back into today's time and space and back into our community and our service, together, let's all take in a deep breath and hold it. And let it out. Say, ah. Again, take in a deep breath and hold it. Say, ah, when you let it out. And with that ah, know that all is well. And let your eyes open as you return, thanking God for this blessing in our journey of life. Together, let us say, thank you, God, and amen and amen. And amen. And thank you, friends, for this sacred time together. And let's carry these positive thoughts, feelings, and stories with us, affirmation in our hearts and minds. Take them into our time of fellowship together and forward out into the world as we take our next right steps.
Thank you so much, Mark. And now we're going to have some more special music by Jeff English and the Unity Band.
Look for the good, look for the good, look for the good in everyone. Thank you.
Jeff, did you write that again? Did you write that song? No? It was wonderful. Thank you, Jeff and the Unity Band. Well, boy, are we blessed to have such wonderful music. Okay, so this is the time during our Sunday service when we acknowledge the practice of generosity. The pandemic has changed many of our practices, including how we support the work of Unity. Some of us prefer to continue to support Unity through gifts made online or through the mail. And we really appreciate the support we have received to cover the cost of live streaming our services. Others of us prefer to make our sacred exchange when we are present at a service. You can use the envelopes on the tables and place it in the bowl when you are complete with blessing it. These envelopes will be safely collected by our ushers following the close of service. As a community, we practice sacred generosity by tithing of the gifts we receive. This month, we share tithes with our congregants' choice for the third quarter, Cristo Rey Community Center, who continues to provide essential services to those in need. Let's take a moment to bless the many gifts we have received and the gifts we are able to share with others by singing, I Am So Blessed.
Grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Having acknowledged the blessings have been able to receive, we bless our practice of generosity as we feel deep appreciation for the love, the kindness, and the support that blessed each of us in our lives and this community. Let us affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I praise, give thanks, and am glad. Let's join together now in our closing song, I Choose Love, followed by the prayer of protection.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace on the planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us, let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. We choose love. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God is within us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.